It's Queen 3 and King. It's Queen 3 and King. It's Queen 3 and King. Queen 3 and King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down. Queen 3 and King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down. It's Queen 3 and King on BS3 Network.
Man, that intro is straight.
Queen 3 and King.
What? First of all, let me do the intro, and then I got questions. All right. I am not the king. I'm sitting in for the king, so I guess that'd make me the Fresh Prince, sitting in for King Dog, who is getting it in again. NHL playoffs with the BS3 Network. Again, big shout out to BS3, doing a lot of great things. And we lost one of the queens, but that's all right.
We lose it every week at this time. You're okay.
That's all right. We're going to get it in. Without further ado, let's have an intro from the magnificent Mika. What's up?
Hey, everybody.
Oh, okay.
And harmonizing with you a bit.
I'm saying. And without further ado, let's hear from the lavacious Lily.
Come on, Lavacious. Okay, I know the king is listening. If AJ keep introducing us like this, your job may be on the line.
Man, listen, don't get me fired from a part-time job, okay?
Alicia, his job is on the line. I just said it.
Yeah, I mean, he treating us like the stepchild now because he think he just big people right now. So, you know.
Well, I mean, he is the king.
I know. As long as he break me off a coin or two.
3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coins.
And,
right.
and she's not here, but when she comes in, we got to get Lady Nikki on.
Come on, darling Nikki.
I knew you were going there. I knew somebody was there.
Lay Coco.
Girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was. Okay, hey, Nikki, how you doing?
I heard you.
Nikki, say something else.
I said, I heard you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just following up. I was piggybacking. I was backdooring somebody else. And it's always the second lick that gets caught. So
it's all good.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, y'all help Auntie out now. Let her know her name is.
No, it's not showing. Let me see if I can help you out and see what the problem is.
Did the king give us the link?
Okay, so go to Auntie. Quick directions. Go to text post, and in it says I'm gonna be using StreamYard, and it's a link that you have to press to give permission to StreamYard in order to show your name. So once you do that and give it permission, your name should start to show up again. Every once in a while, it kind of refreshes itself and you have to redo it. Right.
You got to give it permission again. So wait a minute. I think we got some instructions here. Here are our instructions. And everybody reading it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not reading all that.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Listen, I ain't reading all that. Sorry that happened to you, and congratulations. But y'all better read that. Don't get me fired.
Yeah, read that. Support BS3.
Increase the revenue that allows us to support local charities, provide opportunities to new podcasters, and to continue to deliver the content you love. Just $1 helps. I sincerely appreciate the support. Whenever you see the stars icon, you can send me stars. #stars everywhere.
All right, now.
Yes.
Yeah, that seemed like a whole commercial. I hope I did that justice.
I think you
did.
You did indeed.
Okay. All right. Well, I am honored to be in the host chair again with the Queens on Queen 3 and King podcast. I was telling the Queens before we came on the air, I still have people talking about last week's show. I had an old dude. I'm a little seasoned myself, but I had an old dude say, "Hey man, when is whole month again?" It's like,
I love the month.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, that ain't what we said. It's a season, bro. And if you can't run for the season, you might as well sit down there.
Yeah.
Sit down. So we got a new topic tonight.
What are we talking about?
Parents,
Mm.
have you ever looked at your child with your good eye and told them to do something, and they asked you the amazing question,
Why?
Mm.
and you looked at them with your other good eye and you said, "Because I said so."
Mm.
Now, before we answer that as parents, children, has your parent ever looked you in your good eye and told you to do something or not do something because I said so?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to hit it from both angles tonight. And when you hear that phrase, because I said so, Mika, what you think?
I'm gonna say that Anthony, which is our daddy, he'd be like, well, I'm just trying to do this because I want X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. My mom would be like, I said so.
Hey, not mama's the disciplinarian. Daddy's trying to negotiate.
He's trying to explain why.
Daddy had it took one time for him to really get on me and Mika. And he just felt so bad and could never really just do it again. So he would let mom handle like get putting us in check.
Yeah.
It didn't even take much for her to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So because we weren't really just bad kids anyway. So
how did I know
Mika's mouth? Mika's mouth.
Wait, Mika, why is she talking about your lips?
Because the lips kept her sinking.
Is the validity to that, Mika? Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Absolutely.
You were that child.
Just ask her what's the scariest movie she ever saw. She'll probably say Jaws because my mama jumped in the bathtub with her one day. She got fly. It was a sight to see.
Wait, time out. I got a visual. You in the bathtub thinking you safe, you on base, and mama invaded all your personal space.
Because I was like, because I this. She said, oh, who you talking to? That lady ran from around that corner into that restroom so fast.
I think Mika thought she was safe because she was in the bathtub. Like, I'm gonna get with her right now while I'm in here. Please. Don't mess with that lady.
I'm not gonna cause any child protection services investigations, but you know, the pops hurt more when you wet. So just FYI.
Yes.
Just FYI.
True statement.
Yeah, just FYI. Don't ask me how I know. We just gonna leave it at that.
You ain't never lied.
But Mika, tonight, now just for tonight, you my favorite because I'm you. My mouth was all, baby. I got questions. I'm a little mischievous. I got a little bit of intellect.
All of it. All of it.
And it really worked out well for me.
And I'm gonna finish the argument. I'm going to get the last word, all of it.
And I just learned from her. I just went in the room and said it to myself. Because guess what? I already saw you and got dealt with. So let me go in here and say it to myself.
Let me talk to the good sister. Let me talk to the sister that had comments. Nikki, what did you think about when you heard one of them say or buck mama or daddy after because I said so?
I don't think I said anything to them about it. Because mom and daddy had it.
Yeah.
They had it, especially mama.
Yeah.
You were a good big sister. You weren't like the third parent. You were a good big sister.
No, but I know that.
Wait,
but I know. I knew that mom already had it taken care of.
Or no, she wasn't a third parent.
No, I was not a third parent.
Okay.
She wasn't a third parent.
Nope.
All right.
Because honestly, by the time we were that age, Nikki already had her family.
Yeah, I already had my own family by then.
So it really wasn't. I would go over there to feel like I was her kids.
Right.
Yeah, you would come over a lot.
Yeah.
You and Belinda.
Yeah, I would go over there and because I'll be running like either babysitting them for a little bit or
just getting out the house.
Yeah,
because we lived like how many streets over from y'all?
Maybe like
3
or 4 streets over.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I would just walk to Nikki's house and chill with them. So yeah, and it was such an age gap between me and Nikki too.
Right.
So
because Alicia and Nikki are 17 years apart.
Mhm.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's dig into this topic. Nikki, we're gonna start with you since you've had children for the longest amount of time. Have you had to look at them and say, because I said so, or did you take a different route?
No, I've had to do that many times, but the child that I think I've had to say that to the most was Keegan.
yes. I knew that before she
Which
even
is
said that.
my second child.
Okay.
But yeah, I had to say it to him the most
Okay.
because he thought that he could get away with things that he really shouldn't be getting away with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
always say that second child, your no limit
yeah.
soldier. So
yeah, he's the one
Okay.
yeah.
that I had to say that to constantly. Now, like the younger ones and my older daughter Chastity, I never really had to get on her a whole lot. But Kyler and Kenyana, same thing. But with Keegan, he was like me. I had a mouth too sometimes, but I think he got all that from me.
Yeah.
And you know they say whatever you gave, you get back 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I look again. I'm not saying how I know that. I'm just saying. Just saying. So let me ask you, Mika, since you were the one that kind of helped. Look, her eyes got big. Since you were the one that kind of had that directed at you, was that effective parenting coming from your mother saying, because I said so? In your mind?
It wasn't bad parenting. It was, I was a child that needed that explanation, not because I was trying to be disrespectful, because I really, like, for me, I've always been intuitive. Why? How? Just explain it to me. It wasn't disrespectful. And my mama was like, that's not how I do. If I say, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, I don't have to explain nothing to nobody around here. So I think that's just how, it was, especially growing up back in the day. That's just how it was done.
Yeah.
You say so, that's how it is. Nobody's explaining anything to you. You're the child. I'm the adult.
That's how we was raised.
And I think it's one of those things where we have to understand timing. And as kids, you didn't, right? You just want to know why right now, because it's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think if we would have took the route of, okay, just doing what I say in that moment, because in that moment is usually for a reason. They're saying to do something right now because it's for a reason. Maybe at a later time I could have said, Mom, when you asked me to do this, like when things have kind of settled, why did you ask me to do that? It would probably been recepted a little bit better.
Gotcha.
And I think that's what happened, because later on, if we were to ask them, I was upset about X, Y, and Z, or why did this happen? Later on, an hour or two, the next day or whatever, it may have been explained by my mom or dad, but in the moment, they feel like it's disrespectful because I asked you to do this.
Okay.
I don't owe you that. And as parents, I don't think they do owe us that.
They don't.
No.
Now you bring up a whole nother situation. Do parents owe their children an explanation either then or at another time for because I said so?
I think it depends.
That's what
I honestly do. I honestly think that sometimes, even like when Mika said that she was intuitive and things like that, you have kids that are curious and they have to understand the why behind why you're telling. I'm like that at work. You're telling me to do this. I'm saying, but why am I doing this? Just for my background. Like I have to know why. So I think it's one of those things where we have to, he is such a nut. Okay. He is such a nut.
Nika. Give him the line. Give him the line.
Well, I'll beat your back in.
But I think it's one of those things where sometimes we do owe that to them, because it could be a situation where we told them to do something, and for them to understand why I told you in that moment to do it, this is why. Because they're going to carry that into their adulthood. So, or they could have been in some immediate danger and you told them you go do this right now. Don't come question me why when I'm telling you. You don't know the sense of urgency. or
Yeah.
understand the sense of urgency. So maybe I do need to explain that to them a little
And
bit.
especially in this day and time.
Yes.
Right.
I have those conversations a lot now. And I'm like, you have to have them now when they're younger because so much is happening so much earlier than we experience.
Right.
Let me share a short story long. Okay. So when I was 6, I went to stay with my grandparents in Darrow, Louisiana. And I guess my mama might have snitched on me and said he one of them inquisitive kids. He gonna ask you why a lot.
Mm.
And my grandmother set me down before I ever got to go outside and play. She said, when I tell you to stop, you got to stop. When I tell you to come here, you got to come here. And you got to do exactly what I tell you to do. She said, out here, you might step on a snake. There
Yeah.
might be a wolf or something chasing you, a coyote or something chasing you. And you got to know that when grandma said do something, you got to do it without asking any questions.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I was scared to go outside then, because that, if all that's happening, I'll just stay inside. We have a video game.
I ain't got to go out there.
Give me a
Ain't
piece
got
of
to
paper,
wonder
something
why.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. So I get that there are scenarios where kids' minds don't even think about
Right.
those things that go on. So
Mhm.
I get because I said so, but I also feel Mika. I feel me wanting to know why. Why do you say so? Now, this leads into something that King Doc didn't give me. Because I said so is one thing. The other thing is do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki, have you ever used that one?
Actually, I have, because my mama used it on us sometime too.
Okay.
When Kit Teg and I were growing up, but I didn't really as a child, I didn't understand that. But at some point, as an adult, you can see it a little differently than the meaning of that. It's just basically, I felt like she didn't want us to do anything to be hurt, to bring harm to us and stuff like that. But we didn't understand that at the time. We just thought she was just being mean, like, do it, do as I say, not as I do. But I think that was the main part of that, is that she wanted us to not make the same mistakes sometimes that she might have.
Gotcha. Let me throw this one up here. Y'all should be able to know who this is. I think it's a happy medium between understanding the respect level between parent and child, at the same time keeping the focus on the reasoning and explanation behind the decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's Kia.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Lakia.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, cousin. But yeah, I think that's a good way of kind of really saying that. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Your king said, I let her give me whoopings every now and then when I felt like it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
like when you stole that honey bun.
Yeah.
How about that?
You weren't thinking about that whooping then.
Wait a minute. Did you just you didn't dry snitch on him, did you?
And she probably whooped you when you fought that boy and dropped him off at Food Line parking lot.
Yeah.
Y'all are going in tonight. Y'all can.
No, I don't think she whooped him then. I think that was her proud moment, I think.
Y'all are, ladies and gentlemen, I'm AJ Jones sitting in from the king for the king. He getting dragged right now, so I hope he is covering the NHL in peace, King. I'm trying to cut for you, bro, but they tough. They tough. All
Keep on commenting.
So, Mika, for you, if you had heard "do as I say, not as I do," and because I said so, that would have short-circuited all your wirings.
It still would today.
Wow. Wow. So if your parents today said, because I said so, and now, girl, do it, but mama, you do that. Do as I say, not as I do.
Then she would get her back beat in.
My mama has evolved in her parenting. AJ.
Same here. Same here.
Well, she becomes soft.
She is the softest.
She wasn't with us.
Hold on. Time out. I get it now. Hold on.
Grandbabies are a different thing.
Grandbabies are different. Grandbabies.
I know that myself.
Yeah. It's one thing to hold y'all. Y'all are kids. It's one thing to hold y'all. But it's another thing to hold your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they get it.
But why is that different?
It's different.
Because it's just grandparents feel like your grandbabies are your reward from not killing, really and truly, they're your rewards from not killing your own kids when they was acting out and messing up.
Dang.
It
Just
really
say
is. It's your reward. I feel that's our reward for not.
See, that was a question that I had to ask because I hear people always say that, and I always wonder the reason.
And it's
like,
true. It's really true.
Why do you feel like the love is different? Not maybe not stronger or you know,
just different.
But just different.
Yeah, it's just different.
Them we used to have strict bedtimes, strict you get in his house, strict it's lights out, strict do not talk back to me, do not
I ain't got McDonald's money.
Yep.
And now Blake be in there kicking it with her, doing whatever he want, going to bed when he want, waking her up at 1 a.m. on that tablet, doing it. She's solved. She's solved.
He even said last night I ate some.
Yeah, I don't think
fruit snacks in my room, and I was like, "You ate some fruit snacks in your room? You're not supposed to have anything in your room." Well, Ganny let me bring them up. I'm like, oh.
I mean, again, until you get there, you can't really explain it. I mean, listen to me. I cried when I had my oldest son. I looked at his little fingers and little nose and all that, and I cried because I ain't never seen nothing so beautiful. Mm-hmm. But his first baby girl, my granddaughter, come on, man. Look, they had to console me. It's just different.
Oh, AJ.
It's just different. Yep. I can't put the words to it. It's just different. And I keep them out late. I fill them up with caffeine and anything else they want. And I bring them home with toys that make noise. And you better not take them batteries out because I'm out.
Or you gonna beat they back in, huh?
Baby. But now had it been Andre Jr., listen. Don't make no noise. Don't eat that. Don't touch that. Don't ask for that because I said so.
Yeah.
But it is. It's a whole different feeling.
It is. Hold on. Keisha got something. Keisha say.
They can have whatever they like.
And watch this. And the because I said so's are directed at their parents, not the grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you let them? Because I said so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Ben Sutter III needs prayer and supplication. He says, "I find myself saying because I said so all the time."
But as they get older, and I found this out as I start asking more questions, or as I start asking, "Well, Mama, why?" or "Why, Dad?" They explained it more because I think they were readying me for the world. So that conversation became different.
Okay.
Because I said so. But why? Because that'll get you killed. That'll get you hurt. That'll get you this. That'll get you that. So the conversation changed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing something. Let me share if I'm off. I'm hearing that as you grow older, as the child grows older, the conversation's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But I also hear that tone matters. If they snap at you because I said so, then you got them chasing you in the bathroom and popping you in your spleen.
My whole spleen.
Yeah, got Lily going to her room talking like, "Hey, you ain't gonna talk to me that way." And Nikki like, "Y'all don't come over here with that."
Yeah.
Don't come over here with that. Don't bring that drama in my house.
Because I don't want no trouble with Miss Wilma.
Right. At all.
So does the tone matter or is it situational?
The tone matters.
Okay.
Again, I think it's situational because I think it's one of those things where if I feel like a sense of urgency, like you could get hurt in that moment because I said so, get over here. You know what I mean? Like, and then we can talk about this later, but I think it's situational. Like in some moments I'm like, just because I said so, come on, let's go. Or whatever. It may be a little calmer, but if it's something where I'm like, we gotta do this right now.
We gotta move.
We gotta move, whatever the situation may be. And I think my kids know that about me. I'm not just gonna pop off and yell just to yell. You know what I mean? So I'm like, if I'm saying it something like that, let's go.
Because when you said it as you were explaining it, the way you did that first, because I said so.
Yeah.
And then you gonna come back later all sweet voice and try to talk to me. You just yelled at me. No, I want no ice cream. No, with Daddy.
Usually when that happens, that's when they'll call like Mika, because Mika's soft as Charmin too.
I heard Aunt Mika was the one.
And or they'll go up there with my mama and lay with her. And I'm like, what? Like, we could never. Like,
I'm just trying to tell Alicia, you need to tell them why you did that because they're hurt. Don't do that again.
no.
Just like that.
Not if the situation calls for that hard parenting, because it's certain times where no, we ain't rewarding it. You ain't getting cuddled right now. No.
Right.
I'm about to come pick them up.
That's crazy. So you still like that after all these years, after the bathroom experience? I mean, you still training them up how to
I
ask
understand it
questions?
because sometimes they are me. I'm like, okay, you were just asking why. Come on, let's go. Let's get in the car. I get it.
And what she fails to realize is my son Blake, he is a Gemini. And sometimes it ain't even about him wanting to know why. He just want to be that Gemini in that
Half of
moment.
them want to know, the other half don't care.
Hello.
I was a Gemini, and I mess around and say, shoot, it's two of y'all anyway. Ooh, my swing's still a little soft. My swing's
But
still
you ain't
hurting.
lying. You ain't lying.
She did punch me dead in my back. Nikki, situational, or is it the tone? Do your tones have different meanings when you say because I said so?
Yes. I think it's situational because some kids get it right away when you tell them, but other kids don't. They think they can still do what they want to do and not face the consequences of what you've told them not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I think it's situational at that point.
Let's get this in right here. We got another king.
He is daddy, son.
We got
He
another
ain't
Turn
lying.
on himself.
He typed that with his chest. He said,
Yeah,
he is daddy's son.
he ain't lying. Shout out to you,
Big shout out. Big shout out.
Brandon.
And y'all do me a favor. I can't sing. I can sing. But can y'all sing happy birthday to brother Mike James, please? Please go ahead. Hit it.
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
All right, Mike.
Happy birthday
Say
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Y'all can do better than that, can't you? It's the man's birthday.
Nikki, I wasn't gonna say nothing. 'Cause, I ain't gonna say that was bad because I said so. I wasn't
Was
gonna say
it
that.
bad?
No, it was just wasn't. It was like it wasn't.
It wasn't all. It wasn't. Y'all didn't put your heart into it.
Yeah. Take it from the top. On three. 1, 2.
Now I can't even do it right because you killed my confidence.
Oh,
Why?
oh,
Why?
Let's
All
do
right.
this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's.
Happy birthday.
And now it really sounds dry.
I mean, do you want a slow jam or do y'all want us to pick it up?
Yeah, we want you to pick it up.
All right, you gotta join in too.
Okay.
What we doing? Stevie Wonder, right?
Stevie
Stevie
Wonder.
Wonder.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
Birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
See, the thing
I get it. I know what it is. Mika, you got a delay over on your side.
I was about to say the same thing. That's the problem. There's
Oh.
a delay.
Yeah, you got a delay on your side because
Technical issues.
yeah.
Nothing
Delay
against
is
you,
not
Mike. Happy
denial. Right.
birthday.
Yeah, delay is not a denial though. You're right.
How we gonna change it into the good
Hey,
Lord?
huh?
Yeah. You know how you be like,
Sometimes
delay
it's
not
late.
allowed. Happy birthday in the name of Jesus.
And then she gonna put,
Now you
then she
can't
gonna put
say it was
Jesus in a
bad.
mess. You know what I mean? Come on now.
Now
All right,
you
y'all.
can't
Listen,
say
we're
it
gonna
was
take a
bad.
quick break. We're gonna take our first break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about because I said so. Is it a little thing? Is it a big thing? Are we making more out of it than we need to, or should we express how important it is when we say do what we say do? We'll do all that when we come back right after
All
this
right.
on Queen 3 and King podcast.
Yeah.
I just learned Discover credit cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they'll automatically double all the cash back you've earned. That's right. Everything you earned, double. All the cash back from eating at your favorite soup dumpling restaurant, double. All the cash back from that trip where you sort of learned to snowboard, also double. And the best part, you don't have to do anything ridiculous to get it. Nope, Discover does it automatically. Seriously though, see terms and check it out for yourself at discover.com/match.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, y'all. We back up in here. It is Queen 3 and King podcast. I'm AJ Jones. I'm sitting in for the King. Ivan Dawkins is out getting ready for the NHL playoffs. They've been on top of it, man. I mean it. They've added a whole new flavor to the NHL. And watch this. They've been doing such a good job. Snoop Dogg trying to go out there and buy him an NHL team. How about that?
All right, Snoop.
Yeah, for real. He trying to buy
I love that.
up in Canada. So
I
anyway,
love that.
I love it too. Hey, adding a little color and sauce too. The end.
And that's what I'm saying.
Little color, little sauce, little smoke, whatever.
All that.
Mika, don't say that no more because I said so.
Why?
We got Queen Mika, we got Queen Lily, and we've got
Lion turned into a bird.
no.
Oh, what's up, dog?
See, my bad, Freudian slip. And then of course we've got Nikki. Y'all, are we making too much out of this? Do parents make too much out of? I want to look at it from the parent end and then from a child's end. Is it too much when you say because I said so?
I think it's still a situational thing, depending on the kid. Because some kids, you have to do that, or they won't get it.
Yeah.
So I think it's still a situational thing. But now some kids, after a while, will probably grow out of that stage too, of being the kid that's the rowdiest and getting in trouble all the time. So at that point, then yes, you can give them a little leeway.
Okay. Lily.
Yeah, I think that I don't think that we're making it a bigger deal than what it is, because I think society and social media plays such a huge part in parenting that we have to explain things sometimes, even when we really don't want to. I think we see so much happening with kids nowadays where they probably didn't really understand the why behind why your mom was telling you not to hang with this crowd or that crowd. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that it's really important that we know why we're setting up the conversation, because some people are still like, no, I was told this way. I was raised this way, so I'm going to raise my kid this way, which I get it, because some situations cause for you to say because I said so. But I think sometimes we do owe them that conversation as to why we're saying what we're saying. It's not to be mean. It's not to control what they got going on, but it's also to prepare them, like Mika said, for the real world.
And that real world gonna be tough.
Yeah, because if you don't prepare them, the streets will.
Streets will, and the streets will not. Oh, we can't say this and we can't say that, and they're not ready for this. The streets just turn on that fire hydrant and hit them.
Exactly.
So, Mika, too much? Not. Are we making too much of a big deal out of it?
I don't think we're making a big deal out of it. I just want, our kids to be prepared for what's next, or to remember this conversation I had with my mama or my auntie. She said not to do this because that situation is going to come up again. And because I said so may not, resonate with them. But if I've sat down and had this conversation, I said this because of this, because this could have happened, because that could have happened, because I was trying to, save you from this. So I think those conversations resonate more and they remember that. And I think if you explain it a couple times, different situations a couple times, you'll find them not asking why as much, because they're going like, okay, my mom or my dad or my aunt or whoever is trying to keep me safe.
Yeah. I even think about like a more recent reason, like a recent story, as I had to kind of explain to my kids why I was telling them something. So I don't know if y'all saw, but it's been a lot of different stories on the news. I'm sure you have seen it where like fentanyl is looking like Skittles or,
Yes.
Right.
or candy. So I'm like, at school, don't take candy from anybody.
Mhm.
Nobody.
I don't care if you feel like they're your friend or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Don't take candy from anybody. And of course, they both were like, why? Because this is what's happening. And I feel like that those are the times where we have to
Yep.
know that it's not because I said so in that moment.
I
They
got
really need to
That's right.
why. Why am I telling you this?
That's right.
So you bring me to the next curveball that I kind of want to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said so with a parent that's in tuned, engaged, really trying to protect their child is effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's effective. But what about the parent that is not in tune? They don't want to be bothered. They're frustrated. They're focused more on something else other than that child and what they want to do, what they're asking for. This parent is just on multiple levels now. They could just be, ill prepared as parents. And, oh, yeah, that's real. Just because we have them don't mean we're prepared to raise them.
Right.
Or they can be dealing with something else where their mind is just not on that child. And the first thing that comes to mind is because I said so. Nikki, you go first. What about the parent that's not in tune with their child and really not in tune with the whole parenting thing?
That's tough because I feel like if you're not in tune with those types of things of teaching your kids certain things in life, then that can affect them not just as a child, but it can affect them as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, because they didn't have that guidance, so they wouldn't know what to do. And that parent, they probably never had anybody discipline them or explain things to them.
Mm-hmm.
So what can you do when you weren't taught anything yourself? It's hard to teach kids something that you never had.
Right. It
That's
really
true.
literally becomes parenting, not parenting. You're just repeating what you were told. And if your parent was disengaged, if your parent was more focused on getting her groove on or something else, whatever, may have been addicted, may have had some mental health issues or crisis. And the because I said so was just a get out of my face. I don't feel like bothering with you. Again, those things begin a generational cycle that can go through for a while. Mika, you look like you had something. I'm listening. We're listening.
No, I think you just stole my word. Generational cycle and a generational curse all at the same time. Yeah. Because if you continue what you've learned, which wasn't correct, you pass that down to your child and your child continues to pass that down. Is it healthy? No. Does a child learn anything? No. And it becomes a dangerous situation almost because they're looking at you and they're not getting what they need from you. So who are they reaching out to? Who are they being guided by? Who is doing the parenting? And sometimes the child is doing the parenting and the parent is doing the childing or whatever the case may be. It's the child in the situation. So it becomes a dangerous cycle at the end of the day.
Yeah. Lily?
Yeah, I think we're definitely not setting them up for success and going into adulthood. And I think that's why we have so many broken adults. You know what I mean? Because they were never taught these different things. And then they get out into the world, like we said, and the world teaches them. And that's a lot harsher experience than how our parents would package it up to them. So I think that it's one of those things where we really have to be in tune with our kids. I know sometimes you are just dog tired, right?
Right.
And you just and we're human too. So we're going to have days, we're going to go through that. And I know that I'm not always perfect in my parenting, but I often sit and I even have, meetings with my kids, and ask them, because I saw it on this other podcast where she even opened up and she was like, you have to be super vulnerable to do it. But she would ask her kids, is there anything I can do better for you?
Wow.
And I thought that was so huge because we're often too prideful to say, is there anything I can do better? Because guess what? I'm doing the best that I can, right? That's always what we hear. Yeah. So I think that is something that I've taken into my parenting, where I'll ask them, is there anything I can do better? Are you, do you feel happy? How are you feeling? Because it's so much going on that they're already dealing with in today's world. I want to know what I can do to make it the best experience I can for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if
But-
there's something I got to go back and check, I have to go back and check that.
But I think Alicia made a good statement. It's about the relationship piece. So sometimes when I say because I said so, that's enough, because me and you have that relationship where you can trust me enough. If I
Very
say
true.
because I said so really quick, get your tail in this car, get your tail in this house, get your tail in your room, or whatever the case may be, because I said so is going to work. We're going to have this conversation later.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to, your child is going to do what they need to do in that situation. And, I may not have kids yet, but I kind of borrow, my siblings' kids. And even now, I'll practice with Blake. He'll be like, I am having a bad day. And it's not because I said so. Go sit down. It's, let's ride to the store real quick. I'll steal him and be like, let's ride to the store real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Mm-hmm.
What, how you feeling about school? How you feeling about soccer? What happened with your friends? And he's explaining all that. I think if you build those relationships, because I said so doesn't become a because I said so anymore.
Right.
It's my parents trying to guide me.
So true. So true.
So I think what we've developed is because I said so is protection.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said so can be open the door for better communication later or more communication later.
Yes.
But it can also be a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It can also be a problem. So let's dig into that. Let's dig into that a little bit more. How would you help, Nikki, if you saw a friend of yours who is totally detached from her kids or totally detached from her grandkids? Because you got a lot of grandparents raising their grandkids.
Oh yeah.
And she just hitting them with, because I said so, get out my face, get out my room, da 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 da. And then this girl, you gonna meet me over at the club later? We turning up. We going to the casinos. What we doing? How would you help that person get or see that they're not connected to the welfare of that child?
Just like I said previously, even though they may not be they want to go to the club and do all these other things, they have to take the kids first. Take care of your kids first, or your grandkids first. And sometimes kids are too young to understand some of the things that we're saying to them. So I feel like the kids that are younger, they do need to have explanation as to why. Because when Sayla asks me something, my oldest grandbaby, who's 3, I'll say, she'll ask me why, but why? And then we say, because I said so. And then later on she'll come back again, but why? And so then you got kids like that, you have to give them answers so that they know why. Because I don't want you to get hurt or whatever the case may be. You have to talk to them, and there's going to be a difference. Different kids, some kids are different than other kids.
True.
They can't, some of them you can talk to that way, and the other ones you can't.
Yeah.
So I would think that you need to talk to them and let them know if they're having because sometimes parents will say that because I said so stuff, which sometimes you do have to say that. But other times I think that the child is mature enough at any age to want to know how much, why can I not do this? Can you explain it to me more? Because that 3-year-old of mine, she's real smart. So she'll come back with something, because their kids aren't like we were. These kids now are not like we were when we were growing up. They're a lot smarter and wiser in this day and time. Gotcha.
You brought up something, but I'm gonna finish this thought before we come back to that point that you opened up. Mika, you see one of your homegirls, one of your how y'all do y'all thing?
You probably be mad. Don't do that.
What y'all do? Ooh,
don't do that.
But y'all don't do this though. Y'all wear our colors, but y'all don't do
right.
Yeah. So you see when your homegirl's not connected with her children and she's smacking them with because I said so. And girl, when is the Q casino night? We go on or what we doing? How would you?
It's in June, AJ, and I'm going.
I need to give me 2
Oh, did somebody say the Q's?
Look, Siri about to talk. Siri, hush. You don't talk when I want you to talk, so hush now.
Right. Did somebody say something about the Q's? Oh, that's a good thing I'm married now.
Oh.
I was about to say, you better go on and sit down.
Wait a minute. You gonna get to the casino night, and she gonna be in there already. So,
I'm already be there. Mika get there.
Yeah.
It's a sneaker ball. It's a sneaker ball theme too.
Ooh.
All
Go
right.
ahead, sweat. It's up and down. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Mika, how you gonna talk to your homegirl? Are you gonna pull her coattail to?
Absolutely, I'm gonna pull her coattail. But I think we make the mistake in people think that you're correcting their parenting
Mhm.
versus their decisions. I'm not correcting your parenting. I'm correcting the decision you made while you were parenting. So I'm going to just kind of talk to you about the difference in between the two and let you know, hey, that baby wasn't being disrespectful, because sometimes, especially as somebody who's in education, I see it all. I see teachers who have, like my teachers who have relationships with kids can get the kids to just about walk on water. My teachers who do not have a connection with the kids at all, that kid will look at you and almost cuss you out. But if I have a relationship with you, they'll say, because I said so, sit down, sit down, Andre. They're gonna sit down.
You know what? You got a point, because I was a little mischievous, but I knew I had teachers that for whatever reason they really cared about me.
Right.
If they said to do it, I'm not gonna be the one to get them no trouble. But a couple of other teachers, we're gonna put her back on her medicine today. It's
just about the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Lily, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where I'm glad, and as I reflect about just having the types of friends like that I have, we hold each other accountable.
That's good.
And I think it's one of those things where people always say that it takes a village, but it really does take a village. Like, I'm not always going to get it right. Like, I have one of my girlfriends, I will call her and be like, okay, let me talk through this situation. This is what I did. Whether it's, and she's married with kids. So whether it's raising the kids, whether it's something that I may have said to Brandon or me and Brandon discussed, and I'm like, just tell me, like, you can tell me, hey, you can check me and be like, Alicia, you shouldn't have done that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, or I wouldn't have said it like that. Or this is how I would have handled it. I am never too prideful to be receptive. In the moment, it may hurt my feelings a little bit, because I'd be like, dang, now I got to go back and save face. Like, oh, I was wrong. But
now let me ask you this. Do you have multiple people that have that grace in your life, or is it just her?
No, I have multiple people.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll ask, like, was I wrong in saying this? I will definitely ask.
Well, she asked me today, am I wrong, Mika?
Yeah.
If I did this, would I be wrong? And I'm like,
and I'm telling her, and I came to her like, yeah, you're my sister, but this is an educational hat I want you to put on.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to put this on. I'm thinking about this like this. Am I wrong in questioning this teacher or whatever the case may be? And she'll be like, no. Or I would ask her for A, B, and C, because I know that I don't know it all. And I know but I know I have resources around me to help me through that. And I lean on my resources. So
I know I do.
You have to.
I lean on my resources.
Because my resources I keep real small. I got about 2 people.
Do you?
I call my Nathan, where they can call me out, tell me, no, dog, you was dead wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody else, doc, get to walking, get to stepping.
Yeah, because you can't have.
No, you can't take advice from everybody. I agree with that.
No, you cannot.
Baby.
And be very selective.
I'm just getting back from a funeral. My ex-wife passed away, and
I'm so sorry.
First wife, yeah. And so my oldest kids are hurting and what have you. And I couldn't talk to everybody. I was avoiding people Sunday, like, I can't.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
Or you're going to try and tell me how to grieve or how to feel, and I'm going to punch you. I'm telling you. I ain't Marvin Sapp. I ain't finna sing Never Would Have Made It.
Yeah, thank you, Lord.
No, you never would have.
That's my song, though.
Let me stop. Okay, let me go back to this last point. Let me go back to this last point, and I think we've touched on it, but let's talk about it. Not every child of ours is the same.
No,
not hit them with the same thing and expect to get the same result.
Yeah.
So if you hit one child with "'cause I said so," that might work. you hit the wrong child with because I said so, it's gonna be almost worse.
Yes.
Because it's that's gonna discombobulate everything because that's just
Yeah.
not their love language. They don't know how to handle all that. They finna go tell on you. Granny, somebody finna hear that you hit them with because I said so. When did you learn that one size did not fit all for your children, Lily?
Yes, I definitely learned that. Cadence is my sensitive child, I say.
Mm-hmm.
She don't like all the rah-rah. She kind of reminds me of Mika when we were kids, because Mika didn't like confrontation like that when we were kids. Like if somebody arguing or something, Mika didn't like that.
No, she didn't.
And that's how Cadence is. So and so I know that when I'm talking to her, I have to discipline her different than I would discipline Blake. So Blake, he gonna try me. Like, okay. Like we may have to go toe to toe a little bit. So yeah, he gonna bring the rah-rah a little bit, but Cadence, she's never been that kid. She's more so of she'll just shut down. So I have to really be careful in the way that I do talk to her. So sometimes I do have to get a little loud with her, but then we have that conversation later. Like, I'm not just yelling at you to yell at you. This is why I'm talking to you about this. I know that you're better than that. I know that you can and do anything you put your mind to. And I want you to be your best self. So when I see her kind of going down that, and usually it'll take her about 30 minutes. She may go up to her room just to kind of get out of her feelings, and she'll come back down and be right there with me again. But it's just one of those things where I have to parent her different than Blake. And I can tell you, Bronx.
Thank you, Lord.
Woo, he gonna be another one that I'm gonna be like, okay.
Y'all start praying now.
That's
I
funny.
can tell by that dance move he did.
I keep hearing about that dance move. I need a video or something.
Yes.
Give me a reel.
Yes.
Nikki, how about you? When did you figure out your children? You can't hit them all with the same thing the same way.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I think. See, my two older kids are a lot older than my younger kids.
Okay.
And so with them, I knew Chastity I didn't really have to get on to Chastity a whole lot, but Keegan, I would have to get on to him. Like one day I went up to the school. I dropped him off at school. I asked him, did he want breakfast first? Did you want to go get back McDonald's? And whenever he said, no, ma'am, I don't want anything. So I go to McDonald's to get the other kids, the younger kids' food. And in comes Keegan with a friend skipping school.
Yeah, I didn't want you to take me to McDonald's.
Skipping school.
Not you.
And I took him back to South Garland High School.
Oh my God.
I took him in the office.
Oh no.
And told them I caught my son skipping school. So what are the consequences going to be for him?
Wait, no. Time out. Take me slow. You took your child
Yes.
True story.
to the school, buzzed in with your child, went straight to the office. And may I see the principal, assistant principal, because I caught my child.
And they were so shocked. They was like, what? And you want us to discipline him? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And they did. Okay. He got 3 days in reassignment.
Okay.
Yep. And that taught him. That day. And then not only that, I went whenever he was playing football and stuff, and the teachers were saying, oh, he didn't turn in this assignment or stuff, something like that. I would go up to the school. If we did something, Mama would go. She wouldn't hesitate to go up to the school. And so that's what I did with him. And so when I would go up there to school, I would make an appearance, a surprise appearance. And on this one occasion, he was in there in a classroom full of his football players that he played football with. And he would just slide down in the seat every time I would come in. And then the other kids said, Keegan, your mom's here. And they said, why he don't like you coming up here? I would love for my mom to come up here. And I said, you got to ask Keegan that, but he know why I'm coming up here.
Yeah.
But and that's why he didn't want me to come. But they would let me go in every time. They knew when I came up there to let me go to that classroom to make sure he doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to do those kind of things for kids.
Agreed. And I'm like you on that. I'll hit up to that school in a minute, man. And I like to be incognito. I like to be where they don't know I'm up there, but I can tell them. I give them a whole point. Like, oh, you did this, you did. I saw you when you did that. You was up. Yeah, you know how I roll. Mika, I think you've already said it. When you get your nieces and nephews, you've learned that you can't deal with them all the same way as well.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Like the oldest, the twins, you didn't have to discipline them at all. Chazzy, you don't have to touch them. But it's these younger ones in the name of Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
I mean, me and Blake be about to go for blow. Like, I'm like, sir. But I know him. Like, I call him my Sour Patch Kid. First he's sour, then he's sweet. So I know that about him.
When he's sweet, he is so sweet.
He's sweet as pie. But that Bronx, and like I've known from birth, Cadence is me. Like we get each other. Don't be in my face yelling. We don't need that hollering. What do you
both
mean?
Pisces, by the way. So.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Don't do all that. We get it. Just tell us one time. Don't be right here. If you're yelling and being confrontational, I'ma shut down. Leave me alone.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we've touched on it multiple different ways because I said so.
Good discussion.
Is it a term that you're gonna keep using, a phrase that you're gonna keep using? Are you gonna use it more wisely? Are you gonna use it more effectively? Or is it Machine Gun Kelly? Because I said so. Because I said so.
Because I said so.
Did I stutter? If I did, you'd have heard it twice. Because I said so.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mika, you using it again? How you using it? What you learned from tonight, Mika?
I learned it can depend on the situation and the child and what's happening at that moment. And relationship matters when you're also saying because I said so. Because one thing we didn't touch on is sometimes when people say because I said so, there's a negative reaction or there's a positive reaction to it. So it depends on the situation and it depends on if you have a relationship with that child. I'm not going to go out to any random kid and say because I said so. They're going to be like, who are you, lady? But if it's someone within my family that I've developed a relationship with, and they trust me, that because I said so, it's less threatening, I should say.
Yeah.
So the threatening part of the because I said so goes away if you talk to them about it and you show them why you care.
Right. Lily, your final remarks and what you got from tonight.
I just think that because I said so, it has a negative connotation, but we have to take that negative connotation out of it. We do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like Mika said, it's situational. Sometimes it can be a positive because I said so. And then that's something like those situations where my mom told me to stop doing something. And then maybe later on we had a discussion about it. Those are things that I still remember today. Yep. So I think that it can be so important for us to have those conversations because we carry those into adulthood. And it also can determine the type of person you turn out to be.
Yeah.
Right.
With understanding that. Yeah. So I think it's definitely important to sometimes it's going to be because I said so, but we can talk about this at a later time. So timing is important.
And Nicole, thoughts, anything you took away from tonight?
I just, like I said earlier, I think that it is situational by kid. It definitely is because I have 4 kids and it was only that one that I had to correct multiple times basically because he was more like me. And I didn't see that when in the beginning.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But so that he was more like me and his being mischievous sometimes and stuff like that. So that's how I knew that I need to stay on him, because I didn't want him, not that I was a bad kid or anything, but just because I didn't want the world to him to go to jail or doing things like that, because with our Black boys, we really need to take all those things in consideration.
Protect
So-
them.
At all costs. At
Yep.
all costs.
I'd rather teach you than have the world teach you.
I'm
Exactly.
telling you.
Exactly. Listen, we gotta go. We're over our time, but I'm gonna do a rapid fire. One question for all three of y'all at the same time.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
If your significant other said, "Don't do that," and you say why, and he says, "Because I said so," you not
Oh no.
Say, man, I ain't your child.
Yeah,
Play with kids, not me.
I was
my
like, come
daddy
here,
is gone to
Zaddy.
glory. That's what I was saying.
Come here, Zad. All right, Daddy. Listen, if it's good for the kids, how come it's not good for the? I can't hear
I'ma
nobody.
say- I guess it's because you know what? I'm gonna say this again. It's situational.
Okay. All right.
Come here, Zaddy.
That'll be
Girl.
get out. Lean back, girl.
Okay.
That'll be a topic for another discussion. Again, I'm AJ
Yes.
Jones. I sat in for the King
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
on Queen 3 and King Podcast.
Shout out to you, AJ.
Yes,
Thank
AJ.
Thank you. Listen, I got to go ahead and play our outro, but ladies, thank you again for another great show. I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
We see you looking, want beef, then we cooking. Bro, bring the hook in. Queen 3 and King, we the team, it's going down. We the talk of the town, it's going down. We royalty, wear our crowns, it's going down. Tune in now, it's going down, it's going down. We just hit you with another one. It's going down, we just hit you with another one. It's going down, we just hit you with another one. Tune in now, we just hit you with another one. It's Queen 3 and King. It's Queen 3 and King. It's Queen 3 and King. It's Queen 3 and King.